Hello again. This is gonna be a little bit different kind of video that I have done in the past. I'm gonna build everything from scratch so you can see my thought process. So we're gonna talk about harmonic distortion again, but harmonic distortion that doesn't have flat frequency response. So let's look at the plugin we cloned last time, the AMEC 200. There it is. We get rid of these filters, TMT, monomaker. So we can only concentrate on the distortion it produces. So you can see that the third order distortion this unit produces is flat. So it has flat frequency response. I haven't measured any analog unit that has these kind of characteristics, but there might be some. But this time we want to build something that has very nonlinear harmonic distortion. So let's look at another plugin from Plugin Alliance, for example, Lindell 50 Bus. This plugin has a lot of third and fifth order harmonics in the bass region, and in the top end the second order harmonic dominates. So how do you build something like that? I recently found out this very nice plugin called Kushview Element. This plugin is open source, free of charge. I'll put a link in the description. So this is a modular environment where you can create your own plugin chains within a one plugin instance, very similar to Meta plugin. A fair warning, at least in my system this crashes quite often, so I need to save very often. Let's actually save it right now. Let's call this harmonics. We're going to create separate modules for second and third order harmonic distortions, and then you can create more if you wish. I leave a link to this plugin and also my patch in the description. So let's start by creating a subgraph or nested graph. So in here, we can create a new plugin chain, but let's create here the second order harmonic distortion. So I will connect this from the inputs and outputs. Let's also save. Now if we go here, we create inputs, outputs. If I connect this, we should get signal. We do. Okay. So the first thing we need is the harmonic distortion. We're going to use again the free of charge M saturator. So we're going to get rid of these, enable harmonics, second order. Let's put very hefty 50% distortion. Whatever that means. Let's try this. All right. So we have the fundamental and the second order harmonic distortion. So now we just want to get the harmonic distortion component. So how do we do it? We will add a polarity invert. Now, this plugin comes with these components inbuilt, but it doesn't have polarity inversion. So I downloaded a plugin called Flipper. This is also a free plugin. So when I put Flipper here, and I connect the saturation here, now you can see that there's our fundamental, there's our second harmonic. When we introduce polarity inverted tone, then we only have the second order harmonics. So that's what we want. This is because we want to only add this second order harmonic distortion The next thing we want to have is equalizer. So you can use any equalizer you want. I'm using the inbuilt filter they have here. EQ filter. And then I'm going to use another polarity inversion. So the idea here is that if you have an EQ filter, and let's make a bell peak, whatever. If I now introduce polarity inversion, then it crashes. Okay. See what I mean? Where did we save? We had here filter, boost, like this. Save. Duplicate this. So if we now sum these together, we will get this passband. So this is what we want. We want distortion only where we boost the EQ. So now we would like to sum these two plugins together and then route that to these both plugins. But we can do it also by routing these outputs to inputs of both plugins. God damn. So we can cross-patch these, which is exactly the same as summing them in between. Looks funky, but it works. So now we go to harmonic analysis, or the Hammerstein. We boost a bell, then we get only the second order harmonics and no fundamental tone. So this is exactly what we want. Let's go back, save. And because we did this module, it's now easy to just duplicate this. We need to give it another name. Third, let's route this. Actually, let's mute the second one, or the second order one. Go here. We will use negative 50. Let me do sort of linear boost here, so high shelf from here. Now, why do we have the fundamental tone? The reason is that you cannot have a third order harmonic distortion without the fundamental tone. We can reduce it by introducing volume difference here. So let's go volume stereo. So if we boost the polarity inversed signal, then the fundamental goes down. Then it goes up again. But let me put here a bell filter. It's easier to see. So if we don't have the boost here, this is the fundamental we get. If we boost the polarity inverted signal, we will get less and less fundamental up to somewhere here. So plus 8 dB is probably the maximum attenuation of the fundamental tone. But this is sort of the natural response of third order harmonic distortion. But just in case, let's keep this here. Save. Let me do a boost in the bass region, for example, and here let's boost kilohertz. Why not? Then go back here, unmute this. Then all we need is our fundamental back. So that's easy. We will just connect this input to output. There we go. So if we want to have something like we had in the EQ, I don't actually even remember how it went, but I guess it was low frequency, third order harmonics. Something like this, and then let's say high shelf. Like that. But let's save this patch and go to Reaper and see how this sounds like. All right, here we are in Reaper. I put a drum loop on the track that sounds like this. Okay. Let's load Element and our patch. Here we go. Very subtle. So let's see how these third and second order harmonics sound like. First, the third order. Let's give a bell boost here. So it sounds like EQ, but it has a lot of crunchiness in it. Let's try the second order one. Oh, mute. Third order. All right. Let's use the third order for the bass frequencies. Let's try this volume thing. out, in. Let's take this a little bit back. Now let's use the second order harmonics to get some crunch to the top end. With, without, with, without. Obviously there's a lot of volume change, but of course we can also compensate this because it's a modular environment, so we can take these off. Use a volume here. By the way, save. Now we have a compensation. Not exact, but sounds good to me at least. Could add more crunch. Okay, let's save this because I really want to see in Plugin Doctor that where did we land into. I guess it could be quite high distortion. All right. Did this include the volume? Are we in the latest incarnation? Yep. Okay, if we go to Hammerstein analysis, we actually ended up having more second order harmonic distortion than the fundamental. But yeah, I'll leave the link to the description for the plugin and also the download link for the patch. So this is basically how you can do the analog emulations. I'll leave the plugin link to the description and also the link to the patch file I used here. Have fun!